All right, guys, welcome to the last episode when it comes to the How to Last Longer in Bed mini-series. And this is just in regards to some of the podcasts that we've had, like the one that we had with Matt Cook, Tantra episodes, and just basically tying it all in. Like I said before, first episode we talked about breath work, right? So there's different ways to breathe. The second one that we talked about was endurance training. So you want to edge, but you want to edge consciously. You want to make sure you're using the breath work to actually last longer. If you don't use the breath work properly, then it doesn't really matter what you do. You know, you're going to be like huffing and puffing, and you're probably not going to last as long as you would like to. All right. And then number 3 was the reverse Kegels. I think it's an X factor. I think it's highly applicable. I think you guys can use it and get the most out of it by being able to control that side of the pelvic floor, essentially. And if you do have any issues with your pelvic floor, be sure to check out the episode I did with Dr. Lance Frank, who talked about it, or talk to a physician that specializes in the pelvic floor, or a therapist, right? Physiotherapist, actually. But those are the 3 main factors that really help me last a whole lot longer in bed. And those are the ones that I think you guys could definitely take to the bank and see all kinds of massive positive changes from. So make sure you start off with those. Next up, we're going to talk some more about the generic things, supplements, all that kind of stuff. So the first one that I will talk about is Cialis, right? Cialis is one of those things that if you're an older guy, anywhere between 35 to 45, and I've kind of experimented with it a little bit too, it just helps to last longer. Maybe it's a confidence thing. It's a combination of different things, but you almost take it, you last longer, you're harder. It did improve the amount of time that I lasted. So I would put Cialis up there. Another supplement that I would put is basically L-citrulline, like you guys all know. It improves erection quality, which is one of the things that I think ties in. For some guys, it's a confidence thing as well. The other supplement that I would also recommend is Agmatine, which you can find in any pump matrix if you do take supplements. And the pump matrices are basically the ones that you use at the gym. They just help to make it so that you're like more vascular, veins pop out a little bit more. And they are extremely effective. They do help. And the rigidity of the penis, it's almost like because your erection quality has improved, it makes it easier to last longer. It's almost like you can relax a little bit more just because the confidence is up. For your young bloods in your 20s, don't even worry about it. You guys probably don't have to worry about that too much. So those are the main supplements. There's also some beetroot powders that you could take. As far as food kind of goes, beets, again, number 1, watermelon, spinach, leafy greens, nitrates, all that kind of stuff. It just helps. It improves erectile quality more than anything. But in having that improved, it's kind of like one of those factors that if I improve this, it will translate into me lasting longer because it's almost like I don't have to like put as much energy into getting my dick hard, right? So take it as you will, grain of salt. It improves erectile quality. It doesn't hurt to try it out if you are struggling with premature ejaculation or not lasting, or obviously this is an endurance thing. So if you want to last longer, shit, man, why not have the biggest, hardest cock that you can possibly have, right? That's the way I look at it, right? This is my personal anecdotal way to go about it. And that's the way I go about it. So it's up to you how you want to go about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Then the other thing, so that's kind of like the supplement side of things. You do want to make sure zinc, all that kind of stuff. You should run a panel, like a blood panel. A lot of guys don't even know what's going on with them inside. So what you do want to do is get some type of blood work, get a panel done. If you're over 40, it's not a bad idea. Get all that stuff checked out. The other thing that I'm going to touch on too is stress. If you are mentally stressed, you are not going to last as long as you would like in the bedroom, my guy. If you're stressed out thinking about work, it's like, yo, I'm stressed out. I got to, you might get fired. You're trying to go balls deep. You're like, man, I just want to let go and just feel some nirvana. It's not a good combination for lasting longer. So that's the one thing you do want to check up on yourself. Meditation is great. The breath work is great. You want to make sure that you're able not to disassociate, because we as men are able to compartmentalize pretty easily, but you do want to make sure that you're able to separate the two things pretty well, and you want to do it explicitly. So it's kind of like, that's over here, I'm making love, I don't want to think about sex, or shit, I don't want to think about stress, I don't want to think about work, I don't want to think about what's going on here, I don't want to think about it. So the best way to go about that, breath work, compartmentalize, learn how to do these things. It will translate into lasting longer in the bedroom because now your mind is on the proper thing, right? And I don't subscribe to like, you should concentrate on other shit when you're having sex. I'm like, no, dude, I'm balls deep. I'm looking at this ass. I'm enjoying these titties. Like I'm not for that. I want to be fully immersed in the moments. I want to be balls deep in the punani and enjoy it, right? So That's the way I look at it. Obviously, there are some guys that do recommend that. So if you do want to count to 10 or do some, I don't know, some math equations while you're making love, that's you. And it helps you to last longer, by all means. And again, I'm presenting this as something that you could do if you wanted to. Not my thing, right? So stress is another big factor. The other one that you do want to make sure that you are taking care of, which I kind of just assume for most people. But if you are not in the best physical condition that you can possibly be in, or at least close to it, and if you're a dude that's between 15 to 20% body fat, you could do that. But if you're above that, your BMI is way off the charts and you're kind of, you know, basically eating the standard American diet, then my advice is hop off that shit and get on the diet, hire a coach, get a proper plan going, and get in shape. Improve your cardiovascular health, and that will translate into the bedroom more than you could possibly imagine. And a lot of guys think they got to go sprint, you got to do all kinds of crazy shit. I'm like, you don't have to do any of that. What you have to do is just walk 10,000 steps a day. Get some sprints in, maybe once or twice a week. It is beneficial. It is helpful. And if you don't have joint pain, dog, like it is totally worth it. I like to do cardiovascular exercises all the time because of the fact that I think it's fun, man. Like I think it's fun to just go outside, run, whatever. However, I find like running kind of boring just outside. So I like to go for steps with my wife and I like to go play basketball or football with my son, right? And again, trying to keep up with a 14-year-old is pretty strenuous. So, that's pretty much it's pretty intense, right? So I do that to ensure that I stay in the best physical health that I can, right? Like I'm not just all into bodybuilding and just being big and bulky. And the thing is too, I'm natural, so I don't really feel like I'll ever get like as big as I would like to be anyways. It's a body dysmorphia, but it is what it is. I'm not going to do trend. I'm not going to do any of that. I don't know. I've heard some things about how it affects penises, right? So I don't want it to affect my dick health. I'm pretty happy with where it's at. I don't want to do steroids that might, muck things up or start messing with my testicles. I'm not into that, right? However, for the guys that are into that, hey man, make sure you get your blood work done. Make sure you look into like viscosity, all that kind of stuff, man. Because the more I hear about it, the more I learn about it. I'm just like, yo, there's some pretty dangerous compounds if you don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, it's not a big deal, right? So always talk to your doctor, which is what I'm going to leave you guys on as well. If you are having problems getting it up, if you do feel like maybe you want to talk to a therapist or a psychologist to last longer, then make sure you do that as well. Again, like there's never one size fits all. Like some guy might listen to the series and be like, the reverse Kegel is what I needed. A lot of guys are going to listen and be like, oh, the endurance factor, that's what I needed. Some other guys can be like the breath work. Like I got anxiety or depression or I got this, that, and the other. And then, when I try to go balls deep, or some other guys taking some anti-depression meds, it's going to affect you being able to orgasm and other things. So you always want to make sure that you can pinpoint what the issue is for you. I'm just talking about what really worked for me. And it's something that's very attainable and very accessible that anybody can do. And that's kind of why I offered it, right? However, you got to do what's best for you and just try to view it from that perspective. Like, okay, what can I actually apply, which will be beneficial to me to the point that I'll be able to apply this into my life and actually make it happen. That's all I'm trying to get out. Like these are tools that you can use. And a lot of the times when you go into these ebooks and these different things and, some of these courses that people sell, I'm like, it's pretty much this just kind of repackaged in a different way. I know there's more. I'm not saying that hey man, there's a massive spectrum of different things that you can do. These are just some of the basic things that I've looked into. And again, like when it comes to the generic things, just like get stress down, it's like, okay, meditate. I'm like, okay, go beyond that. So I hope you guys can actually take some of the techniques, some of the strategies that were mentioned here, apply it. And I hope you guys can go balls deep for as long as you want to go. All right. So that being said, if you guys do want to get into good shape, send me a DM. And again, if you guys do want to consult, you guys do want to talk for, I got the link there, price attached, all that good stuff. If you guys do want to chat, again, hit me up from there. That being said, if you guys got any other questions, again, just send me a DM. I got send me a DM, send me emails, and then I'll go from there and I'll try to make podcast episodes based off of that. And that's really what I want to be pursuing this year in 2025. Yeah, I got called out by subscribers like, hey man, I need more PE shit. I'm like, all right, cool, done. So PE, sex, all that good stuff we're gonna be talking about. TRT, HRT, got some good stuff lined up. Also got some stuff lined up in regards to diabetes because it's something that's affecting people. Guys, this is all about health. Everything ties in. Like I always say, the body's a symphony. And if you're pre-diabetic, you're diabetic, you got to get that in check if you want to have the best possible erections you can possibly have. So, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Again, don't be strangers. Reach out, send me DMs, send me the emails. See you guys in the next episode.